This is where most people quit. Not because they lack desire, not because they lack discipline, but because they misunderstand silence. They enter a new state. They feel calm, grounded, certain, for the first time in a long while. And then, nothing changes. The same people show up. The same bank balance stares back at them. The same patterns replay like an old recording. And that's when panic begins to whisper. What if I was wrong? What if this doesn't work for me? What if I'm just fooling myself? But here is what almost no one teaches you. The moment you stop reacting is the moment the old identity begins to suffocate. Reaction is oxygen. Reaction keeps the past alive. Reality does not immediately shift because it is reorganizing around a new center of gravity. And that takes coherence. What you're experiencing is not failure. It's lag, not punishment, recalibration. But the moment you react, the moment you emotionally check the evidence, the moment you look outside and ask, is it here yet? You step out of authority and back into the position of waiting. Reaction says, I still need proof to trust myself. And the need for proof is the signature of the old identity. Non-reaction is not passivity. It is dominance. It is the quiet refusal to let appearances dictate who you are. To remain unchanged while the world rearranges itself is not weakness. It is mastery. One of the deepest illusions humanity carries is the belief that life selects people, that some are chosen, and others are left behind. That success, love, peace, abundance are granted to a lucky few. But life does not choose. Life reflects. When you believe you must be chosen, you automatically wait, and waiting places you beneath life. Waiting says, one day something outside of me will decide. But the moment you choose the state, life reorganizes around you. Because life does not respond to hope. It responds to identity. Choice is not effort. It's not movement. It's not strategy. Choice is a decision of being. Quiet, internal, immediate. No announcement required. No proof demanded. The moment you are the state, the consequences begin unfolding. Not dramatically, not all at once, but inevitably. You don't attract what you want. You step into what you assume yourself to be. Real power is not emotional intensity. It's not excitement. It's not motivation. It's not obsession. Real power is stillness. Stillness means you no longer negotiate with reality. You don't argue with what you see. You don't convince yourself. You don't chase reassurance. You remain. And remaining is rare. Most people collapse back into effort because effort feels familiar. Effort gives the ego something to do. Stillness feels empty at first, uncomfortable, silent, exposed. But emptiness is not lack. Emptiness is space, and space is where creation responds. Stillness is the absence of urgency, and urgency is the signal of disbelief. When urgency leaves, authority takes its place. Now, slow down. There is nothing to fix, nothing to chase, nothing to force. Just presence, just awareness, just being. You were never meant to control reality. You were meant to stand as the place reality moves from. Let this land, not in your thoughts, but in your body. Feel it settle. I am grounded. I am settled. I am no longer waiting. Not because circumstances changed, but because I did. This is not affirmation. This is recognition. And recognition is the highest form of manifestation. If this resonates, comment below. I am. Not for validation, but as a declaration. And if you feel the pull to go deeper, beyond effort, beyond techniques, into being itself, subscribe to the second channel. We don't build there. We remain. because circumstances obey consciousness. Delay is preparation. And everything changes the moment you stop trying and start being. Let me say something that may feel uncomfortable, maybe even confronting. You don't need to manifest anything. Not money, not love, not success, not healing. In fact, the more you try to manifest, the more effort you apply, the more techniques you stack, the further you often push it away. And if that statement creates resistance inside you, that tightening feeling in your chest, that impulse to disagree or defend your beliefs, good. Because resistance is not a problem. Resistance is information. It reveals attachment, and attachment reveals the identity you're currently living from. Most people don't fail at manifestation because they lack discipline or consistency or spiritual knowledge. They fail because they are trying to get something from the position of someone who believes they don't already have it. And that position, no matter how spiritual the language sounds, no matter how positive the affirmations appear, keeps recreating the same loop. Trying, waiting, hoping, forcing. A cycle that feels productive, but never truly resolves. So before we talk about changing reality, before we talk about creating outcomes, we need to look at something much deeper. What if the act of trying itself is the very thing preventing your life from shifting? Effort feels responsible. Effort feels mature. Effort feels like you're doing the work. And because effort is praised in almost every area of life, it quietly sneaks into spirituality as well. But here is the paradox most people never question. Effort that comes from lack is still lack. When you say, "I'm trying to manifest abundance," what the nervous system actually registers is, "I am currently someone without abundance." When you say, "I'm working on self-love," the deeper message becomes, "I am not yet lovable." This is not about semantics. This is about identity. Your subconscious does not respond to intention. It responds to implication. And the implication behind effort-based spirituality is almost always, not yet, not enough yet, not healed yet, not chosen yet. This is the invisible trap. You can meditate every morning, affirm every night, visualize with perfect detail, journal until the pages run out, and still remain in the same internal position. Because identity is not what you say you want. Identity is what feels normal. It's the emotional baseline you return to when you're not consciously trying. And reality does not respond to words or rituals or force. Reality responds to states. This is why some people barely try, and life seems to open doors for them, and others do everything right and stay stuck in repetition. Not because life is unfair, not because they're broken, but because consciousness mirrors what you are, not what you are reaching for. One of the most common phrases people say is, "My manifestation is taking too long." But here's a truth that changes everything. Reality is never late. It is precise. It moves with exact calibration to the state you are stabilized in. What feels like delay is rarely punishment. It's synchronization. Reality moves at the speed of identity. Not faster, not slower. If your nervous system is still calibrated to struggle, ease cannot anchor. If your inner dialogue still defaults to doubt, certainty cannot stay. The mirror is not withholding from you. It is protecting coherence. Imagine placing a powerful outcome into a self-concept that cannot hold it. It wouldn't feel like success. It would feel overwhelming, unstable, threatening. So the system waits, not because you're undeserving, but because the identity hasn't caught up yet. What you call waiting is often preparation, and not preparation outside of you. Inside, reality doesn't ask, "What do you want?" It asks something far more honest. What can you remain as without effort, without force, without collapse? Here's another uncomfortable truth. The desire to control reality comes from believing reality is separate from you. Control assumes distance. It assumes life is out there and you are in here trying to manage it. But consciousness is not inside the world. The world is inside consciousness. You don't control a dream by arguing with dream characters. You wake up, and when you do, the dream reorganizes automatically. Control is strain. Strain is resistance. Resistance signals misalignment. That's why forcing outcomes always backfires. The tighter you grip, the more reality slips. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because gripping itself is the signal of separation. True authority doesn't push, it stabilizes. It stands still long enough for reality to realign around it. Power is not intensity. Power is coherence.